Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and how you got involved with the retreat house?
Hi, my name is Mike Markle. Thank you for inviting us today. We really appreciate this opportunity to be with you. My story starts actually 35 years ago. My wife and I were from the coal regions of northeast Pennsylvania, and we both relocated to this area, and we had no family, knew no one when we moved here. And we actually moved like a mile away from the retreat house, lived across the road. And we were drawn there because growing up in the coal regions, we were blessed to have Franciscan priests and sisters in our school. We had 4 Franciscan priests, and we had actually 18 Franciscan sisters that taught us in our grade school. So I was familiar with the Franciscan traditions and Franciscan spirit. So when we moved here, we couldn't believe that we were actually living within a mile of a Franciscan retreat house. So we were drawn there back then, and ever since then, we look back on our life, and the retreat house has always been there for us. Whenever we had difficult times in our life with marriage or kids or anything, we found peace and comfort and solitude at the retreat house. My wife and I have made like 9 retreats there, and every time we came back refreshed, recharged, reinvigorated, ready to tackle the world. And we're very blessed, and we're thankful for the retreat house for providing that environment and that service to us.
How about you?
My first experience with a retreat house, of course, I had people telling me that it did exist, but I never had the opportunity or the desire to drive to Easton. At that time I was living in Bangor, which is about 25 years ago. And I was in the midst of raising 2 teenagers and leading a very stressful life, as most mothers do at that time. And I was looking for a place where I could go away from the distractions of the world and just find some peace and solitude, and also was in need of some spiritual direction. And so one day in the midst of turmoil, I decided to take a ride down to Easton and to visit the retreat house. And the minute I walked into chapel, I knew that I was going to be going down there quite often. And so one thing led to another. Everyone was so welcoming. Everyone was joyful and there to help to encourage and to support me in any way that they possibly could. And I was very much taken by the volunteers that were there and the way they were able to live out the gospel of Jesus Christ in some simple ways and some profound ways. And it never ceases to amaze me how encouraging they are and faithful to their call. And the mission statement of the retreat house is to welcome everyone with Franciscan hospitality and trying to help all of our brothers and sisters, no matter who they are or where they come from. And I was accepted in that regard. And because of that, I feel like I have a call to serve the retreat house in any way that I can and to serve my brothers and sisters. And I think I can speak for Mary Jane and for Mike and many, many other people that have been touched by that holy place, and that will be forever, forever attached to it. So I hope that others can find that same experience.
And my name is Mary Jane Dinan, and I'm on staff doing marketing and fundraising. I've been involved with the retreat house for over 30 years. Having made my first retreat at age 18, not at St. Francis, but at another facility, I became a promoter immediately because I, at that time, felt a calling that I needed to bring more people to the retreat movement. So in about, I think, 1971, I came to Father Bill Reistetter and said, could he do a women's retreat there, because they only had one other one. And so I've been involved with bringing women to St. Francis all that time. Many times women or men, whoever I would ask to make a retreat, don't understand, what it is, what it means to them to come. And I myself, when I first went, didn't want to go. I didn't think I wanted to be on my knees the entire time. And that's not what a retreat is. You're not on your knees the whole time. Going on retreat is more than that, because you're giving yourself the opportunity to empty yourself, as Francis did or as Jesus did. when you go away. Empty yourself of all those worries, those cares, those fears, the hurts, the pains, and you're going there to hope that you will find help. And very often you do find help, and if maybe not right away, later on down the road you will find help. You'll at least receive a peace in knowing that God is with you no matter what is going on in your life. So I continue to ask women, men, teenagers, whoever, come to our retreat house to help find rest there.
Okay, great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the retreat house, how it got started?
The St. Francis Retreat House was actually opened in September 1961. It was founded by the Franciscan Order. Currently we have 3 priests and 3 brothers that are on staff at the retreat house, and it was set to be serve as a spiritual oasis where people could come, get away from the busy, hectic, frantic pace of their daily lives, and reconnect with God. Kind of a way to recharge their batteries and just get away from TV and cell phones and all the hustle and bustle of everyday living, and just have a time to reflect on the important role that God plays in their lives. So since we've opened in September 1961, over 150,000 retreatants have passed through our doors. Each year, over 4,000 people come. They typically come for 2 or 3 days. We're a full-service facility. We have 129 rooms, 129 beds with 72 rooms, and we offer full dining facilities, a place to sleep. We have a large chapel. We have a small chapel, 4 large conference rooms. So we offer the whole gamut of spiritual direction, special topics for high school students, for middle-aged students, for young families, for senior citizens, and we try to meet the needs of our customers.
Okay. Who started the retreat house?
It was begun by Franciscan friars that came from Slovakia, a great number of them, and Father Jerome was responsible for the building of the building. They started out with a little farmhouse there, right on the site, and they built the retreat house. The friars then lived in the retreat house, and initially it was a retreat house just for men. They did retreats. They went all over the valley preaching the gospel and getting people to know them, and taught them all about Christ.
So tell me a little about St. Francis and why he's the main inspiration for the St. Francis Retreat House.
When he was a young man, he was trying to find out what he needed to do in life, and was praying and found this church that was abandoned and in much need of repair. And as he was praying before this San Damiano cross, God spoke to him and said, "Francis, repair my church." So he went about getting mortar and stones and begging for, he didn't have any money, so he rebuilt the church. But he later learned that what God really wanted him to do was to repair his church from within, meaning the people of God. So he formed the Friars Minor, a group of brothers to follow him, doing the same thing, going about preaching and teaching, and this was in Assisi. Today, there are Franciscans all over the country, all over the world, actually, doing the same thing. At St. Francis Retreat House, we follow his mission with having retreats for all peoples of any denomination come to our retreat house. Our own preached retreats, people come to renew their spiritual lives, to maybe connect with God where they feel lost at some times, different times of their life. But most important is, Francis himself went out into the forest and his caves to pray. He felt he needed to get away to commune with God, because that's where God is. God speaks to us many times in the silence, and so basically a retreat is similar to that, where people come to get away, to come to our place of quiet, and they'll come and they'll maybe just take a room themselves, or they'll come to one of our formal retreats where we'll have some preaching and find the same thing.